Russian state media say that ousted Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad has been granted asylum in Moscow after fleeing his country. His regime collapsed in a lightning rebel offensive that began less than 2 weeks ago. Assad's fall has been a cause for widespread celebration across the country and among the Syrian diaspora. After almost 25 years under his rule, Syrians are beginning to turn their attention towards what rebel leaders say is a new era for their homeland.
Bashar al-Assad's exit from Syria came quickly in the end. Looters picked through his vast palace just hours after he fled to Russia with his family, bagging the remains of his regime and celebrating fresh hope for their country.
50 years of injustice, insult, poverty, water and electricity cuts. Thank God after 50 years we were able to remove Assad's family. God willing, Syria is moving towards democracy.
The rebel forces who toppled Assad have received a hero's welcome in parts of Damascus. Civilians have joined with soldiers in widespread celebrations. I haven't slept at all since yesterday. I came early in the morning to see the people and express joy on behalf of all the mothers of the missing, prisoners and martyrs. My brother was martyred, as were my friends and neighbours. The rebels have moved quickly to free thousands of people locked inside Assad's notoriously brutal jails. Newly released prisoners asked bystanders in Damascus what had happened, still unaware of the regime's end. Amid celebrations over Assad's fall, plenty of questions remain about what comes next for Syria. Rebel leader and former al-Qaeda member Abu Muhammad al-Golani is likely to play a key role. His rebel group, HTS, was instrumental in overthrowing Assad's regime. On Sunday, their leader addressed cheering crowds at Damascus's historic Umayyad Mosque.
This victory, my brothers, is a new history for the entire Islamic nation. This victory, my brothers, is a new history for the region.
Prime Minister Mohammed Ghazi al-Jalali has said he will assist with the peaceful transition of power to a government chosen by the people. But whoever leads Syria's next chapter faces an enormous task in unifying the country. For now, many remain cautiously optimistic about the country's future.
Journalist Ossama Muhammad is in Qamishli in northeastern Syria. Welcome to DW. Now, 24 hours have passed since the fall of the Assad regime. What are the first measures the rebels have taken since seizing power?
Thanks for having me. Actually, the main measures which is happening is keeping the governmental institutions running, as you saw, and as you mentioned in the reports too, that there was a call between al-Julani and the Prime Minister of Syrian regime, ex-Syrian regime now, to run temporarily the government and keep all the infrastructures and institutions open. So tomorrow, all the governmental institutions will be open again. The bread, the diesel, like all the daily life needs, will be provided according to these reports, which we saw in his statement and speech. Mohammed Julani, the leader of HTC, yesterday mentioned from Umayyad Mosque in Damascus, which is very symbolic mosque for all the Syrian people, and mention again that they're gonna support all the needs, all the daily life supplies for the people, and they will keep the administrative institutions running. There were some problems yesterday happening, like damaging some of the public infrastructures, stealing and thieving of some of this public institutions. But afterward, there was a people from the HTC forces were going to control and monitor these places and keep it safe.
But just to be clear here, who is organizing public life at the moment? Are Assad's police and public authorities going to be maintaining order and providing services still?
The civilian institutions will keep running the government temporary. There is no more Syrian police. There is no more Syrian soldiers. We are talking about the civic side, and this is gonna be related to the ex-government until now. And this is actually should to be like this to let's say to protect and keep the system running until the new formation is found. If the government or let's say the civic institutions are collapsed and broke down, there is the all life needs and supplies for the people will have a big problem.
Yeah. Millions of Syrians, of course, fled the civil war in recent years, most of them to neighboring Lebanon. Our correspondent there has talked to Syrians who plan to return after the fall of Assad. Let's have a listen.
We're going back to our country, our own country. Not Assad's country, not Iran's country, not Russia's country, but our country.
How do you feel today?
It's a mix of feelings. It's joy, sadness, tears. Everything is all mixed up.
When I left, I was a little boy. I was made homeless, but now I'm going back. I hope our country stays liberated.
It's been 12 years. We want to go back and see our homes, or what's left of them.
I'm going back to Syria. I cannot describe how I feel after 8 years. I was a soldier and I escaped the injustice and the oppression, but now I'm going back with my head held high. I'm not bowing. We've been fighting al-Assad for 14 years and now he fell in 2 weeks when the Arab nation united, when all 14 regions of Syria came together.
Now, Ossama, optimism all around, although cautious in many cases. What will it take to rebuild Syria?
First of all, it's need to have a deal between the Syrian people themselves. There is no any more time for punishment. It's a time for opening the channels of dialogue and discussions and negotiations. There is mainly two powers now are in the control for Syria, HTS and SDF or Syrian Democratic Forces. And there are some rebels are trying to attack the areas which is under control of SDF, like yesterday in Manbij. Nobody is looking for more fighting in Syria, more tragedy, more dramatic signs. We think that the main hope is that to start this kind of discussions between SDF and HTC. In their conference, in media conference, General Command of SDF, Mazloum Abdi, mentioned it very openly that they are open to all discussions and negotiations and dialogues with the other parties in Syria. From their side, HTS too mentioned that they are open. But we hope that this came to the ground and this kind of dialogue start soon as possible.
Now, since his ouster Bashar al-Assad has fled to Russia, what are people making of that?
Well, there is no more chance for Bashar al-Assad to go. Bashar al-Assad already talked with the UAE, with the Iraqi government, and there were no any response from them. All the Arab countries were trying to have a deal and already had the discussions with Bashar al-Assad to have a formation for transition period, but Bashar al-Assad was not keeping his promises. The end was the only place was Russia. Everybody knew that they're gonna be at least supporting him for this kind of a deal. People in Syria, mostly like when we talk about all the functions and forces, know that Russia will protect him. We don't know if it's financial and economical benefits from that too or not. Until now, the HTS didn't found the perverse gold of Syria, not the central bank of Syria. There is no any statement about the financial and economical situation in the banks. So maybe there was a kind of deal between Bashar al-Assad and Russian government to go there. But people are not really happy, and they are looking for a punishment. They are looking for justice for all the victims, for all the people who lost their lives by the ex-president of Syria.
As journalist Ossama Muhammad, thank you so much.